congrats on first over on Twitch, mindless. Oh yes, I was trying to fix the chat box before stream, so you may see my spam in Twitch chat. For some reason, the script on our chat box went all funky, and so luckily I found a little pre-made one on Reddit to use for now, but I'll have to fix it once I have a little bit more time before a stream, you know? Yes, yes, let me make sure everything is working. Everything's working well. Alright. I think this is the one. Hello. Chat, I'm back. Hello, hello. Did you miss me? A little bit of a change in the look. Yeah, I thought it fit, you know. The sunburn kind of matches. I am so sunburn itchy. It is rough. But I was so happy when I got back home and it was raining terribly hard and so windy. I was so happy. I was so happy about it. I cannot explain to you experiencing heat rash for the first time ever and being like, what is this? What is this? What is happening to me? Yes, I did end up going and buying SPF 30, which I don't think I will ever need up in northern Canada, but I've learned my lesson that the Mexican sun is much stronger than the Canadian one. Yeah, it was so nice. It was raining the day I got back. I just like stood in the rain and was like, oh, I'm so cold. This is so nice. Yeah, I didn't burn the back of my neck. I burnt the tops of my shoulder and like the top of my nose bridge where my glasses rest and the top of my cheeks. Because I fell asleep on a beach chair. I guess we can go through the whole trip. Let's just yap about Mexico and how much I loved it. I love humidity. I forgot how dry it is way up here. So when we got there at night, and I had been making jokes the whole like time in the airport while we were waiting for our flight and on the plane with the pals, saying that my conspiracy theory, my number one, was the ocean isn't actually salty. Which is a meme, obviously. We all know that. But I just kept saying it, so that first night, as soon as we landed, we ran to the ocean and I got splashed in the face and everyone was like, so, what do you think? And I was like, well, I guess this ocean is salty. I guess that's true. It was very, very goofy. Yeah. It was so windy by the ocean. +2. Oh god. The breeze was very, very nice. I don't know why I didn't expect it. Like, you hear about ocean breeze, like it's a scent on candles and stuff like that, but I just like did not think that it would be windy. I don't know. But the second day, when I bought my 15 SPF sunscreen, I Spent most of the day in the pool. Pool, ocean, back and forth. It was an all-inclusive resort in Cancun for Mr. Tommy Dime's wedding. So I just had a delicious breakfast. Then I had drinks with friends by the pool. Then I would go chase fish in the ocean. And then I would go back to the pool. And I would have more drinks. And then I would go back to the ocean. Back and forth. That was my whole first day. Yeah, it was super fancy. All of the pals were there. Or well, not all, but a lot of the pals. Ah, mindless. Thank you for the gift subs. Congrats, y'all who got them. Don't forget to say thank ya. All that jazz. Thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. Hype train level 2. But yeah, the resort was very, very nice. I tweeted a lot of the animals that I saw. I put a lot of photos of the food I was eating, which was a lot of fruit. Sharks or rays? None, actually. Just some... They looked like gold eyes with little black tips of their fins, and then a bunch of little minnows by the beachfront. But nothing too crazy. Lots of animals I'd never seen before in the resort. They had howler monkeys. Spooky scary. They were very loud. They were like cordoned off because I think they were rehabilitating them or something. But you could just hear them screaming. It was very spooky. Hi, Pie! Hello, hello. Yes, I'm alive. The sun did not turn me to ash, shockingly. I did get a great tan, though. My skin is no longer translucent. Who knew not being a NEET would give me such great looking skin? But I ate so good there. The technology exists. Yo! The sun is real and I can go touch grass. Crazy! But yeah, it was very, very fun the first day. And because of all the swimming I was doing and running about, I fell asleep on a beach chair by the pool, and I only slept for like 20 minutes, but that was enough for my skin to be like, alright, it's over for you. Time to suffer. And I woke up, and I swear when I woke up, I could feel my cheeks sizzling. I was like, my skin is deep frying right now. Ow. But it was a great nap, so worth. Yeah, I did not expect the sunburn at all. It was very, well, I'd never had one other than like when I worked, I guess. I got one sunburn once, and it was because I worked for like 12 hours outside without sunscreen. So this was like, oof, oof, ouch, oof, ouch. Yeah. Okay, I have a big old pile of skin beside me, y'all. I am so peely. It doesn't hurt, I'm not in pain anymore, but I am peely. Sun poisoning. I have gotten sun poisoning a lot, but not sunburns. I used to swim for like 12 hours a day as a kid. Like weekends, I would be out in the lake just swimming the entire day, not eating, not drinking anything but like pop or juice. And so I got sunstroke a lot. But yeah, first like real day there, and I burnt myself pretty terribly. It was so stinky. And then for like 2 days, I was just like covered up. I would like go back to my room constantly for naps because I was just like so sleepy and so sore. Like every 2 or 3 hours, I would go and reapply aloe and sunscreen, and like, ugh, I would not recommend. Yeah, and shirts. If my shirts were slightly heavy or like tank top straps, they kind of hurt my shoulders. Ugh, it was tough. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. That's all I wanted. That's all I want. Because I miss being here when I'm gone. Choo choo. That's such a cute dog emote. Yeah, this is sort of like the beach I was on, so I figured it's a good fit. Yeah, it wasn't a super bad burn. It was like mostly gone after a day, maybe two. But yeah, I'm still really peely now. Like I'm wearing longer sleeves so that I don't have to look at my grody looking shoulders. It's like tissue paper, you know? That's what my shoulders are like. The waves. I was actually far enough not to hear them, but I slept really well the entire trip. I was really shocked. Yeah, no glasses on beach day. Still a knit sweater and button up, but you know. I did feel like a bit of a lizard with how peely I was. I found a lot of my pals were kept up by the peacocks on the resort, which was very funny to me. I never even noticed them. I kept sleeping like really well. I would go to bed at like midnight 1, wake up at 7 every single day. I was like, wow, maybe I should sleep on a rock at home or buy a pool. I don't know. One of those two options, you know? That makes the most sense to me. It was very, very, very nice. Yeah, they were very, very pretty. There was even, I still don't know if it was albino or like just white for some other reason, but there's a white peacock there and a bunch of baby peacocks. They were so cute. Bye bye, Hogarth. Thank you for popping in. I did not. So here's like my one complaint and why I will probably never go back to a resort like this. Um, we were kind of super far from any actual markets. Like, I really wanted to get traditional arts, like handmade stuff by creatives in Mexico. That was my goal. But we were over an hour drive away from most places like that. There was only really like touristy markets that wanted you to buy tequila or cigars or like weed for $200, stuff like that. Yeah, and I really liked the resort. I liked getting to hang out with friends. I like to have, 3 meals a day. I like to be within walking distance of all these different little fun activities and stuff. But I think for myself, when I travel, I'm much more uh, preferential to like history and arts and culture as stuff I want to see and do. Yeah. I think it was like a fun little peek at living in a walkable area with all of my friends and that's why I enjoyed it. Yeah, I did get overcharged like 60 USD for sunscreen and aloe vera before I realized there was a scam market that was a 5-minute walk away that sold it way cheaper. So, I definitely did get scammed. I did buy a bunch of like cheesy, classic keychains of Playa del Carmen for my family members. I am keeping just a couple seashells I picked, but I got like some little leather hats with woven brims for my dad and my brother, and then I got uh, a keychain that is like thread, I guess, thread and felt. That's true. That's true. No sand dollars because again, the resort area we stayed in had this like big tractor that would come through every morning at like 6:30 or 7 a.m. and would like grind up all the seaweed that collected on the beach, or like I guess move it, but I think they were just grinding it up. And yeah, it like shredded a bunch of stuff. Yeah. No worries, bye. I did get scammed, but I was in so much pain the first day after my sunburn that I was like, I just have to do it. I did buy the rest of my stuff from the market afterwards, though, because, you know, I'm not super head empty. Here, let me see if I can get a photo of my little collection of stuff here on screen. Yeah, I found just a bunch of little tiny shells, nothing too crazy. Just some just some cute little stuff. And then I got one super cheesy frog keychain that says I love Cancun because it's a frog and I am legally obligated, you know? Let me upload this photo. Ba, ba, ba. Google Drive. Yes, done. Okay. But yeah, I really, really did want to find more stuff. But it fell through. um, my drive. Oh my goodness, where did that upload? Yeah, it's a very cute little pink and purple frog. I think it's probably made from some pretty cheap stuff, so I'll probably just keep it inside hanging somewhere, but it's still very cute. Is it? I was thinking, I saw this like trend on Twitter recently that was like, uh, if you really love your Oshi, you'll start picking up the way they talk, blah blah blah. And I was like, is that true? I don't think I picked up anything from Ame. I don't think. Unless, like, I don't know. Maybe my yawns are like her hiccups, but I don't think I picked up anything in particular, she says. Same if Fuamoko. So I'm like, hmm. And I start thinking, like, what's mine? Maybe, what is my little thing that people would pick up? And the only thing that came to mind was, like, maybe, you know? Because I tend to say you know a lot. Yeah, I guess gamer rage is something I did get from Ami. Real and true. Okay, here, let me upload image. Post image. Pop, pop. Oh my goodness. Just like GG. Oh, heck yeah. I love GG. Ignore my little bit dirty desk mat. I did just wash it before I left, but it's a little bit dusty right now. Wah! This is my collection. Yippee! Yeah, true. I got a couple little shells. Some I'm gonna send to my mama. And then some little keychains and the froggy I'm keeping just for me. But the rest is going to family. I also got some snacks I'm gonna be sending over to my family. I tried a little bit of the chips, which actually, I do think that Mexican Takis are better than the ones in Canada. Yeah, I think they're quite cute. Yeah, they had so many of the little threaded ones. I was like, that's the closest to something handmade I can get here, because you can see that it's the chain is sewn on, so somebody did hand make this. So it's definitely my fave. But I got this like Hola Guapos mango paleta de caramelo con chile. Mango sucker with chili powder on it. Listen, I'm sorry, the Takis are different. The Takis are... I actually hated Takis when I tried them here. So when I saw... Because while I was in Mexico, all of my content on like TikTok and YouTube Shorts started getting a lot of Spanish speaking, specifically Mexican TikToks. And one of them was like, all of these Takis in Canada, when you look at them compared to the Mexican ones, they look like they've been sucked clean and put back in the bag, like they look gross. So I bought Takis to try from Mexico because I was like, oh, are they really that different? And they are pretty different. But I think that's because some of the ingredients aren't allowed here. But they're really tasty nonetheless. And then I got rancheritos, el mero mero sabor ranchero, which are these like corn chips that kind of taste Dorito-esque, but I'm not a big fan of corn, so I'm not a big fan of them. But I just got them because they were called rancheritos, and I thought that was funny. And I got one bag of mango michas, which is instead of like the hard sugar sucker, they're like gummy versions of that. So gummy mango candies with spicy outside. Yeah, I don't like corn, so when stuff has a strong corn flavor, especially like I don't know, I think I ate too much canned corn growing up, and so now when I have corn stuff, I'm like, that's kind of yucko. That's kind of yucky. But yeah, I didn't buy too much. I mostly just like recorded a bunch, which that won't be able to come out right away because I do have a lot of stuff that is making me very busy for the next little while. But as soon as I have time, I will be editing together a little semi scripted vlog. Maybe when I'm older. I will never like corn. I don't think I ever will. Get comfy. But I do have a lot of footage that I am excited to work on. Hopefully, hopefully by the end of like this month or something, I'll be able to start working on it. But I ate a lot of good food there. My favorite was the Mexican food they had, but it wasn't as spicy as I thought it would be. Like some of the stuff was labeled as spicy, but none of it really was. So I was like, ah, they have had some bland palates here because I could not tell that it was spicy. And I was like, I have baby palate. That should not happen. We're at the beach right now. I am gonna miss like the sand and the stuff like that. Because all the swimming I do here is like pools and lakes that are like you cannot see the bottom of them because it's so brown, the water. So that's probably like the number one thing I'll miss. And the humidity. It was nice to be like, oh, I don't have to put on chapstick every couple hours. Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was nice. Even if it did get stuck to my feet after swimming, it's still fun. But yeah, I was like, man, I need to get a gym membership ASAP because actually going out and doing stuff made me so, like, sleep so well. Going out and exploring and doing things. Which actually, while we were there, we went on the one excursion. I didn't do any others because I had seen some reviews that were of not the best quality. And if you follow Kev, who is also there as a pal, you may know that we went on this like Captain Hook pirate ship excursion thing. You get like a meal and a bunch of free drinks and a like basically a comedian performance and dancing and stuff like that in front of you. And it was fun, but it was also I was like they are not so much a family performance as they try to be, but I think they just tried to advertise to everyone. Because I was handed drink after drink after drink. And they had like a rave at the end of the experience. Because you basically get on the ship at like 4 p.m. ish, and you get back at like 9, 10. And you have the main host, which is your captain. Ay, Capitan! Is what he kept getting us to say. And it was a decent meal. Like, it was a pretty good steak, some good sides. Um, and the performance was fun to watch. But the rave lights were, oh, like at the end, they'd have everyone get out of the seats so that they can start cleaning, obviously, and so they can start having their little sword fights and stuff. So when they did that, they started playing music and had it shuffled everyone kind of to the center and had these flashing lights going. And my head hurt so bad because you're just sitting in the sun on this ship drinking drink after tequila sunrise after tequila sunrise after tequila sunrise. And my head, I had such a headache and I was so sleepy because I had spent the morning swimming as well. And so, oh, it was so tough. By the time it hit 9, I was like, guys, I want to go to bed. I want to go home. I'm so tired. But all the crew and stuff were very nice. I did like leave a tip because they were very sweet. And it was very fun, but it just like was not at all what I was expecting. I was expecting a more family aesthetic little performance. It's still something that I would recommend, I think. Like if you wanted to go on a pirate ship and goof about and get pointed at by the captain and have him say, scream like you're scared, and you go, ah, and he goes, ugh, then, you know, I think that's right up your alley, and I think you should give it a try. But I think it's a one-time thing for me. Mm. Yeah, not at the one we went to. The one we went to was mostly like family chillin' type stuff. So it was, yeah, it was weird. We did watch the Oilers games in the like sports bar they had at the resort. It's very funny because I think that's like their only nightlife area. That's the place that has the bar open the longest until like 1 a.m. And so it was very, very funny that people were coming in to listen to the DJ that was supposed to be playing. And you have like 20 Canadians sitting in this bar being like, listen, Mr. DJ man, Mr. Barman, if the if that team loses, the orange and blue one, we're all leaving and we're gonna be upset. Or if it's that other team, if they win, we're gonna be up like hype and we're gonna stay and party the rest of the night. Yeah, I saw many crash outs from my pals while I was away. One of my friends made some decent little change there on a game. The last game, I think, was the one where they scored 2 goals in overtime. And he bet like $20 saying we'd win. Just like always betting on the losing bet, essentially, so you get a bigger return. And he actually got a payout. It was very fun. I was like, yo, congrats, that's so hype. That's so exciting. But yes, it was very funny how we Canadians kind of took over everywhere. Wherever we went, there was like 57 of us that all came for the wedding. Which you may have seen streamed on Tommy Dime. Tommy Dime's channel. He decided to stream it because it was kind of like more of a celebration wedding than the actual wedding they had. But it was still very, very fun. I had so much fun. I do want to go back. I'd like to check out Cancun proper, because we drove through it while they were having like all these different celebrations. Like we drove by some graduations, we drove by a pride parade, we drove by like a bunch of little things, and I was like, oh, I would love to be in the city and just like wander around to these events and see what's happening. So I'd love to go back, both to Cancun and then also just to like Mexico proper, like Mexico City and stuff like that, you know? I felt very targeted by the TikTok algorithm because one of the first like Spanish speaking TikToks that I got was this girl being like, "Hola guys, the tadpoles in my tiny town have now grown legs." And it was just this girl tracking the growth of the tadpoles in a pond in her village and like posting about it every day. And I was like, oh shit. Twin, where have you been? It was very, very funny. Yeah, I loved it. I followed her on TikTok. I was like, this is for me. I am sold. And I found a bunch of Spanish speaking VTubers too that I followed. I was like, heck yeah, algorithm. I love this. Good job. Slightly called out, but good job. It was very, very, very fun. I think the most fun things were like little events the resort had. Like there were a few nights for samba and stuff like that, or there was a circus night that was really cool. I recorded a little bit of each kind of circus performance. There was a bunch of different performers in the lobbies, like guitarists or vocalists and stuff like that. There was a foam party at the pool. That was pretty cool. You just got to play in bubbles. That was hype. Yeah, this was my first time ever like going to the South Americas. And now it makes me really want to visit more places. I met a few people at the resort who were from like mostly Brazilians and a few people from Argentina. And yapping with them, I was like, man, I want to go visit those places. I want to go to Argentina. I want to go to Brazil. That seems so cool. But this is my second time ever leaving the country, and it was really, really, really cool. I think I liked my trip to South Korea a bit more just because I got to, go to a bunch of museums, go to a bunch of like street markets and stuff like that, which is like more my preference, but this was still very, very beautiful. Omni goes to Brazil. I would love to, genuinely. Every Brazilian I've known over the years has been some of the coolest people, so why would I not want to go? Oh, thank you for the posture check. I was slouching. But I have lots of places I want to visit. Lots and lots of countries I'd love to go to and see. Maybe in another 6 or 7 years, I'll be able to go to another one. Or maybe I'll get sponsored. I'll go talk to some travel company and be like, send me to this country and I will be your ad for it. Trust. I will not shut up about it for the next 6 years. Yeah, I love historical places. I love museums. I love art. I love street market and street market food. Even though I've gotten many a stomach ache, it's always very cool. And I love anything indigenous culture, of course, being indigenous myself. So anywhere that has indigenous culture, I'm like, I want to go. I want to go see what they're up to over there. For sea travel. Send me to the seven seas. I will make a vlog for each. You'll get plenty of shorts. You'll get plenty of long form and short form content. Companies, if you want to send me. Twitch, if you want to send me to TwitchCon. I'll be great advertisement. That's like the dream. The dreamest of dreams. Someday. On a cruise someday. I'd like to try it. That's another thing where I'm like, that seems cool, but also it seems kind of freaky to be like stuck on a ship for however long. You know? I've seen some cool cruise stuff though, so maybe it's less scary than it seems. I do love those videos of people who get left behind by cruise ships. That's like my little, yeah, be on time, people. You can't make a whole ship full of people wait for you. Good thing you got left behind. That's my little spiteful thing that gives me joy, is watching those videos. I'm always like, yeah! Woo! Any kayaks or sea rafts? No, I didn't. There were a few different like little excursion things, but they were charging about 80 to 100 USD for them at this resort. And I was like, after I got scammed for the sunscreen, I didn't really want to shell out a bunch of money for that stuff. I just went out and swam, used some floaties in the pool, that kind of stuff, you know? I'm still kind of red from it. I'm hoping the redness will go away soon so I can see how tanned I actually am. Yeah. That's the thing. Maybe at different resorts or different places it wouldn't be quite so expensive, but from what I was told, they were like, you know, one of those trips is enough for to live off for a week, so why would they charge less? And I was like, okay, I mean, I guess that makes sense. I get it. Get your bag. I hope they're making bank there, because a lot of those people who are selling stuff on the beach are in like full blue jeans and long sleeves and a jacket over top and a like, you know, balaclava to cover their skin and a hat, and there's so many layers, and I'm like, oh goodness, how are you not like just sweating into a puddle in the sand? No worries, no worries. Yeah, I don't get seasick, so I think I would like the rocking of a ship like that. That seems like it'd be nice. But I've never been on anything bigger than like fishing boat. Big ol' wooden fishing boat. That's about it. Nothing too crazy. The ocean at night kind of freaks me out though. That's the thing I think with cruises that freaks me out the most is I hate deep ocean and I hate big waves out in the ocean. Ugh. Gives me the heebie-jeebies. One day I'll go back to Mexico and do all of the cool things that I wanted to do this time. Just you wait. Yeah, that was also something. Like during the day from the beach you could see um like the other coastline across the way. Or but at night you couldn't see anything. So it was very very you know? Oh, those little ships. Yeah, I feel like that would be less scary. I would ride one of those. Sightseeing cruise in Vienna. One of those still counts as a cruise? That's neat. I would absolutely do that. No, there wasn't as much light pollution. I think because we were so far away from Cancun proper. It like I saw the Big Dipper the first night and I was like, oh, that's weird. That's in a different place. Neat. And there's a full moon when we left. It was so pretty going out and looking at the ocean with like the full moon's reflection on it. It was so cool. It was very, very nice. But security there was very strict. You were not allowed in the ocean after like 10 p.m. No ocean time. Which I was like, man, I want to go swimming while it's dark. I know that's probably dangerous or whatever, but it's so cool. I am new here or not? Are you asking me if you're new here? Because if so, yes, you are. If you're asking yourself, I don't know. Sharks wake up at 10 p.m.? I guess. I don't know. I don't know why they had that specific rule, but there was one night where three of us went out to go like dip our feet in the ocean because it was so warm. So we wanted to stand in the breeze and like dip our feet in. And they like flashed lights at us and like pointed them at us for 10 or 15 minutes while we were standing there. And I was like, what the heck, guys? Come on. Leave us alone. We're just trying to cool off. Yeah, and to be fair, I think I get it because it wasn't all inclusive, so drinks were all inclusive. And a lot of people got very, very plastered there. So, I'm gonna go sleep. Good night, Chaos. Good night, good night. Thanks for popping in, chatting, and showing me a cool little cruise ship. Oh, welcome to your first live stream. That's hype. That's exciting. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, that's what I imagine. It's probably they didn't have proper lifeguardage at night, and also they've probably had so many troubles with tourists just getting plastered and trying to go swim in the ocean and then hurting themselves somehow, you know? Stepping on something funky that stings them and then complaining about it. So, I get it. I still was salty about it. I was like, I am one of the good ones. Let me in the water. Let me go sleep with the fishes. But I understood. I didn't argue. I just enjoyed the ocean breeze and left. 'Twas a very nice ocean breeze. It did get very fishy smelling in the mornings, though. I think because all of the seaweed that would build up overnight. You would come down at like 6:30 and it'd be like kind of stinky. Kind of stinky out here. How you guys doing yoga by the beach when it's so stinky? Yeah. I just came back from vacation, so we're talking about stuff to do with that. Oh, they had sea-doos at the resort too. Ah, if everything wasn't like so much in Canadian dollar or in USD, I absolutely would have done it. There was like this sky where they like pull you behind a boat and you go up in the sky. Paragliding? No, not paragliding. I don't remember what it's called. But they had that there as well, which is very cool. What else? What else? Parasailing. Yeah, parasailing. With like this giant emoji umbrella thing behind you. Or one that was a Mexican flag. I don't know if you got to choose, but the emoji was like the sunglasses guy. It's pretty funny. But I thought that was so cool, and I would have loved to have done it, but for the price, I was like, I can't. Not this time. It was exactly that. Oh, I did get to see. What the heck were they called? That first morning, I got to see a bunch of monkeys, like, climbing from our resort to the next one. They had built them like a little rope bridge, because I guess the trees weren't close enough. And they didn't want them trying to climb the fence or something, so they built them a little, like, rope ladder. Rope. Essentially monkey bars made out of rope for them. But for legitimate monkeys. It was very cool. I was a little freaked out because monkeys kind of scare me, but it was still very cool. I don't know. I don't know the difference between monkeys at all. But they were small and not that scary, so. Not so bad, you know? Where I'm at, it is afternoon, 2 p.m.-ish. Monkeys are scary strong. Yeah. I've seen so many videos of them like opening people's backpacks or like taking their jackets and that kind of stuff, so monkeys always kind of freak me out. They always are rather spooky, scary. Just a little. They're cute from a distance, you know? From a good distance. Monkeys are us. I'm not a monkey. I'm not that hairy. Nuh-uh. Not me. Maybe you guys. Not me. My favorite, though, were the little capybara baby looking things. Apes are us. Toys are us. How about that, huh? I have so many videos of those little capybaras. And the little babies. They're so cute. Yeah, I don't actually know what they're called, but they look like little teeny tiny capybaras. I also recorded a lot of these like ringtail animals that look like raccoons, but they have really long ringtails. So I don't know what they are. Neither have I. I've not seen one in person, but I see really cute ones on the internets. Lemurs? Let me see. They're called Curamundi, or Mexican raccoons. Oh, so they actually are raccoon-like. Oh, they're so cute. But they're so scary. I saw them fight each other in the resort lobby. And it was very spooky, scary. Here, I'll show you guys. Capybaras, I actually don't know what category they're under. These are the things I was talking about. Are they rodents? Oh, okay, okay. There's a bunch of these guys at the resort. They're so cute, but they're so scary. They were scrapping with everybody. They were so feisty. They're apparently called Mexican raccoons, colloquially. They were fighting the cats for their food. They were fighting each other for scraps in the resort lobby. They were scrappy. Don't you dare block them from a trash can, or they'll fight ya. But capybara. Oh, they're called an agouti. Agouti. These guys are my favorites from the trip. I think they're such cutie patooties. Like, look at that. They're so cute. Yeah, they were just chilling. They're just baby. No, I didn't touch any. Sadly, I have a healthy fear and respect for nature, so I didn't try to touch any of the wild animals. Except for the really tiny, tiny lizards we saw. But I couldn't touch them because they were too fast. But I did try, because they're just so teeny tiny. And there's these big lizards there as well. They were spiny-tailed iguanas. They hung out by this one specific pool where they also had some tortoises. I think because the rocks there got really, really warm. Some kind of piggies. Yeah, same. Didn't realize they're big rats, but they're cute. I quite like the iguanas. They're really cool looking. I did not try to go near them though or anything because I assume they're spiny for a reason, and that would probably be quite ouch. Or at least, I think. Oh, I did not realize that. That's pretty neat. I'm not super afraid of reptiles. I just don't like touching them. I've held a snake once at like a fair and they feel gross. I don't like feeling like their muscles and stuff. It's kind of yuck. No, they didn't. All the resorts kind of had the same connected beach all the way down. Or at least as far as my eyes could see. Salamanders. No salamanders there, sadly. Or at least not that I saw. Maybe there were. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe other reptiles are different, but snakes just kind of grossed me out with how muscly they are, so I haven't picked up or held any other lizards or anything like that. It's yucky to feel. You could feel every muscle movement while it like slithers over you. Ugh. Yuck. I don't mind fish too much. I just think they're kind of stinky. But I love fishing, so I don't mind holding fish. I saw that there was this artist on Skeb. I think they were like pretty expensive though, so I don't know if I ever will get it. Maybe someday they'll do fan art or something. But I saw that they draw VTubers like fishing. And so I wanted to commission them so bad to do art of me like catching a jack. I thought it'd be so cool. Slugs and worms. Yeah, slugs and worms are pretty gross too. I think just slimy things are kind of gross. I don't mind them as VTubers, but actually touching the real ones. Not a big sticky slimy fan. I'm sorry to the slime girls out there, but yuck. Yeah, they did one of Isakorva on Twitter. I doubt I could find the Skeb. Let me. I love Skeb, but I cannot afford the fishing art. I remember it being like $100 or $200 or something like that. Oh, actually, I just got a Skeb back recently. I should look at that. An addictive money pit, truly. If I had more money, I would be getting a bunch of Skebs of my favorite VTubers. But instead, I can only get a few of myself. Oh, this was one from way back in February. I forgot about this. Damn, they drew me thick. I think they referenced not Freren, but I don't know. God damn. God damn. Cute. Cute, cute. Wow. Wow. I can't wait to show the world all this art. So cute. They drew me caked up, y'all. This is sick. Y'all remember when that Skeb artist rejected me because my VTuber model wasn't sickly enough? That was so sad. Bye-bye, Aunt. Thanks for hanging out. Bye-bye, bye-bye. Sickly, yeah. I tried to commission this artist I really liked on Skeb, because somebody I followed on Twitter had commissioned them. And I sent them a commission, and then I went and read their Twitter bio afterwards, after I got denied, and they... their whole, their whole vibe, what they really loved was drawing flat, sickly girls. Which, sadly, Omni 2.0 does not fit, so I was sadly out of luck on that one. It was very funny, though. It did make me laugh a lot. The rejection hurt less because it was such a funny reason. Yeah, I recommend this model. I think it's very cute. And if you buy the full version, you get so much customization. So, would recommend. Sounds like my kind of artist. You just gotta go on Skeb, and all the VTubers you follow, you'll get to see their Skeb art on Skeb. Because it's like, you follow this person on another app. Here's the art they recently commissioned. But it made me laugh so much. And I did go back and look later, and I think it was... Who was the girl that had commissioned it? I think it was the mouse girl that I can't remember, but yeah, it was a flat girl, so I was like, yeah, I get it. I get it. It is a reference to Amori. There is actually a little accessory for this model of a light bulb above the head. And OmoCat, when this came out, retweeted it. It's very, very neat. Mm-hmm. That's where they got the inspiration for it. I think the full model is like 20 bucks, 30 bucks, somewhere around there. I love this bossa nova I found. There's also an egg. I believe so. Honestly, haven't gone through too many of them because I've had this style one since it came out. I just changed the blush and the hair clip today before stream. I wanted to look, you know, sunburnt and sandy. Not on the free one. I think you can on the paid one, but this is the free one. So the only thing you can change is if you wear a skirt or shorts, or if your sweater has these little, like, crisscross sketching on it. Alright, y'all. I think we're close to leave. Close to bye-byes. I didn't do last. That's fair. Neither am I. You gotta be in a yappy mood for me to do a chatting stream. Like today. I think if you want to try streaming, just try doing it. Just do it with no fancy stuff. Just start streaming. And then, if you like doing it, you'll get better naturally. You can go and watch your favorite creators and be like, how do they do it? What do they talk about? Or you can be like, I know some creators write down talking points before streams. Like, I want to talk about this thing that happened this week, or this topic, or that topic, and all that kind of stuff. So, but my biggest recommendation for streaming is always just do it. I did it with no cam, no PNG tube bar, just my Guild Wars 2 and my League of Legends gameplay. So, if you love it, after trying it with just that, you'll get better. You'll improve naturally. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I will gladly be doing a demo day probably tomorrow, because there's so many games in the Steam Next Fest that I want to try, and I have so many demos on my desktop. I'm actually gonna go and record today's video right after we end here, so I'm very, very excited. But I think it's time for me to go start making dinner, so that way I don't just have rice for dinner again. I will see y'all when I see y'all. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Bye bye.